Yeah, look at this. Over my head. They've never been this tall. Ow. I want to love roses, but they're mean.
So you don't love roses?
No, I love roses. I do love roses, but they don't love me back.
Oh, I don't know about that.
They just said, help us not go extinct. I said, okay. Centifolia major, white demure, rose demure, unique blanche. Roses to me seem like the one flower that every single human being could recognize. Celsiana, blush damask, Hebe's lips. They're all the same plant, essentially. I mean, they're all connected, but they're all so different. Indigo. And they're one of the oldest flowers, Madame Party, in existence. Henry Martin, White Bath, Ellen Toffelmeyer. That's a good one. They are a living piece of history. Crawford Gallica, Four Seasons Rose. If these plants aren't protected, look at this guy. They're gone. Jenny Duval. He's ready to go in. There's actually one named Gregg Lowery after Gregg. Isn't that cool? No kidding. We can only do what we can do in this lifetime, what we choose to do. If we can think ahead a little bit, what a benefit that will be for the people that follow behind us. How does this stuff move through time? Like, how do you preserve it to make the journey that may not be easy?
You guys have more Flower Girl over there?
Let me take a look, hang on.
I'm counting 3, but we should have, do quick math, 18 coming over.
Get on the next buggy, yeah?
The mission of the farm and what we're focusing on has changed in the last 5 or 6 years. Originally, it was very much about maximum productivity and really focusing on growing cut flowers in a sustainable way and seeing how much we could cram into a very small space. We're gonna fit thousands of tulips in this single bed. We're taking full advantage of this teeny tiny space. Roses definitely took kind of a back seat. I couldn't devote the time to them, the space to them. They didn't really fit in with my high efficiency, high productivity plan for making a living from growing flowers. Ow! And then when we got the opportunity to buy the neighbor's farm, the business has evolved. We've expanded into seed growing and flower breeding and preserving plants, large groups of plants. And one of the big ones that we've taken on is the old European roses. Oh my gosh, look. Bud! Look.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
That little guy.
Mauve boar salt. That sounds good. Today's the big move. So all these roses that we've been lovingly caring for and potted up and everything, I think it's time to put them outside, which is a little bit scary because
Just to put them out in the weather.
yeah, in case it gets cold. But they're starting to leaf out. I saw a bud on one of them. It's too soon. So we need to slow them down. But they look good.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous whenever we make a change or take the next step on something. I don't want to rush this. I really want to be mindful that you could mess it up with this many different varieties and this many plants. Just be very organized and intentional. Cool. You know how there are problems and you think that someone else is supposed to fix it? Or there are things that are happening and you don't like it, but you assume that somewhere a group of people are putting their minds to it and they're gonna solve it for everybody. But the more that I've been digging in and learning about historical plants and small nurseries and the state of the world and climate change, the more I'm realizing that there is no group of people, no one dedicated place, not our government, not nonprofits that are making sure that the historic plants that are here on the planet right now are being protected for future generations. The nurseries are disappearing, so you cannot find these plants anymore. The plants exist in some people's private collections, but those who have been collecting for many, many years are passing away without a succession plan, and so these groups of plants have no home and no one to take them. There's like nobody who's coming in and saving these plants. I don't know what to do about the problem. All I know is to collect. Just gather as many varieties as I can find and hold them and figure out how to take care of them. And then hopefully we can figure out what to do next. So I feel like it's step one.
Looking good, huh?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the deer have kind of come in, but they're still...
I know. It's pretty bad, actually, yeah. Like the amount of deer damage. Seems like most over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we just like sort of bit the bullet and went for potting everything up into a larger pot and feeding them. Just, I love the irrigation system you guys set up. Like these little tiny sprayers in every pot. I think we can just... This buys us time to figure out the grand plan for all of these. Oh, look, they're blooming. This one specifically came from Gregg. Wow. Well, a lot of these came from Gregg and Anne. Anne Belovich was an incredible rosarian who lived just south of us here, who had the largest collection of rambling roses in North America. Some people argue the world. Many of the roses that Anne had were the only ones in the country. Like, she had imported them, very rare. She had worked so long and hard to collect all of these plants and care for them, but then who was going to take them on next? So there's blackberries, there's stinging nettle, but we're going to see if we can't preserve some of these at least. I would say that the first day we got to go to Anne's, that was one of the top highlight flower days of my life. Like, it was like the stars aligned and we were supposed to be there. I know we were supposed to be there. Like, it was like the baton, it just got passed, right?
Totally.
Started me down that path thinking about, like, okay, Anne lived, not even a year longer than when we went to her garden. And so what do I want to do to help preserve these? Look at all these little cuties. You know the way it goes on the internet, down one rabbit hole to the next. I discovered Gregg Lowery, who had an heirloom rose nursery down in California that was very famous. He was friends with Anne. He closed his nursery and started a nonprofit called the Friends of Vintage Roses. He has this amazing program where you can become a curator and adopt a collection of roses. It is out of control beautiful here. I'm getting so many ideas for our rose garden. The old European roses are the ones that are the least favored. People don't plant them anymore. They only bloom once. Many of them are large. They have a lot of great characteristics, but a lot of negatives. And so Gregg was saying that these are the ones that would thrive in our climate, but that they would also be the ones that needed our help the most.
These babies are coming home. They're getting a drink, a prune.
We decided to adopt them and start bringing one small batch of plants at a time here to the farm. So in total, we'll be adopting about 550 roses from Gregg. And then we have roses that we took cuttings of from Anne's that are now they're about as tall as me, and they're starting to scramble and ramble, and they look a little terrifying.
There's a lot here.
There's so many.
lot.
I mean, in this space, there's about 1,400 rose plants. Yikes. Well, how could you not, right? Okay, so this is a group of roses that's called moss roses that we adopted from Gregg, and he's still propagating more for us. But look at this. They have all these tiny little thorns that are kind of furry, and it actually looks like moss is growing on them. And then if you smell it, it's kind of got this strange here, like kind of a
Oh, it
strange...
smells really good.
I know, but they're really sticky. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they have different levels of mossiness. Oh man, so many fat buds. I can't wait to see these bloom. I can't wait to document these. I can't wait to design the permanent homes for them. I mean, some are in the ground, but it's quite an undertaking. We're going to organize them, we're going to label them, we're going to take care of them, and then once they get established, we will have the mother plants that can then be propagated from. We can work with other people, but we're at least holding that genetic material here on the farm for the future. What do you think of all this?
I think it's amazing. I feel really good about, I was nervous about taking on this project, like both Anne and Gregg, like I feel really kind of responsible that they've sort of entrusted us to do this.
Yeah. Gosh, look at all these beauties. So much history. So much love, so much passion. It started back in the very beginning. It's almost like I was being prepared for it. Like I remember when I first met Anne, she was in her 70s, and at the time that seemed like, oh my gosh, she has all these roses. I hope that someday I would be in a position that I could adopt some of them. And then 20 years later to have the opportunity to have a space and the support of the team here on the farm. It's really a full circle kind of dream come true. I wanted this for so long, but I don't think I was ready until now.
I'm very excited about Gregg coming. I can't wait to meet him.
He's getting a full body hug.
Yeah.
None of that patting.
He's
on
a
the back
hugger.
shit.
He's a hugger.
Oh, just wait.
Yep.
There he is.
There he is.
Look at Nina. You can feel her
know.
vibrating. She's so... We're gonna mob you, Gregg.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. Hi, Gregg.
Jill, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Gregg came up this past summer to see the roses and see our progress and just visit and bring us a few more babies. It was nerve-wracking. It's like the teacher comes to your house, right?
In fact, they're almost all hybrid musks.
So you put on your suitcase?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I discovered this morning that all of my clothes were wet.
Oh no. That's annoying. He also gave us an in-person tutorial on how to take cuttings.
The most important thing of all in taking cuttings is the actual cuttings that you take, and making sure that they are of a quality that is likely to be easy to root.
Okay.
We want to make sure that that stem, first of all, is at a stage where the growth buds, which lie in the little crook of the leaf and the stem, are not beginning to grow as that is.
Okay.
We're going to cut down here. I'm still able to cut below those two growth buds that are growing, not leaving a big stub right there. And voila, we have a 3-leaf cutting. Any additional stress between now and the time we get this into the moist conditions where it's going to root, put stress on the cutting.
Okay.
Label them.
1, 2, 3.
You want your cuttings to be stuck halfway down so that they have room, half of the pot below them is room for roots to grow.
Anita and I have too
Are
close.
we dorks or what? We're like on top of him.
I know.
God. And we're both like doing this.
This was the modern shrub rose that we did. And we tried 3 different ways to select the cuttings.
Great.
So we're not going to do anything different otherwise. The comparison is we'll see which rooted better. Did all 3 survive?
Okay. Okay.
And that is going to teach us something about the selection process of cutting.
Right.
There we go. We're coming just like 1/8 of an inch below that leaf scar.
The way that you really figure this out is through the act of practice, trying different things, taking notes and records, right? It's not totally straightforward. You're like building your own
Yep.
experience and knowledge through the doing.
Right. And with plants, we all know it's really all about being a really good observer. Observing whether plants have enough water in the garden and fertilizer in the soils. We observe plants all the time, most of the time totally unconsciously.
Right.
I'm telling you, this is at 60, finding your life calling, right?
There's how you take cuttings.
Grow, babies.
And I'm passing the torch as of today.
It's on
No
you,
pressure
Nita.
on me. Okay.
Great.
Unlike a human being that only is here for a set amount of time, one of the incredible things about roses especially is that you can continue propagating them. You can have a rose that's hundreds, if not 1,000 years old, that has been kept alive and moving through time by propagating it again and again and sharing throughout the generations. It's kind of scary how successful you can be with certain varieties. I mean, we took 100 cuttings and 95% of them rooted. That's a lot of roses from just one variety. Like, you will have roses for everyone you know. I'm excited to pass on how to do it, because that's kind of the only thing standing between you and having 1,000,000 roses is knowing how to take cuttings.
Erin's excited about measuring the rose field. She's running.
Any guesses?
On how long it is?
Yeah.
100 feet.
How many?
100.
I thought it was 90.
98.
This little wheelie walker's seen better days. Okay, let's see. And 100 exactly. Okay? So 100-foot row of, like, can you imagine, like, bourbon roses in full flower?
159. That was way off. Yeah.
This is our before. It's just an empty grass field. It was once blueberries. It has since been cover crop. Nothing's been planted here for what, 5 years? It's just been waiting for the roses. And then if I like snap my finger, it'll all be in full bloom.
And it's
Look at that
almost a full moon.
Yep.
Almost.
There's a lot of dead, huh?
Yeah. A lot of dead.
Like, look at that. See how it's all dead there, and then there's a little green? Like, I'd just call that dead, I think. Doesn't really seem like worth messing with. Typically in the winter, our normal winter, plants would have been just fine. But instead, it got so much colder than anyone had seen and any of us expected. We lost over 300 plants to the cold. They just froze like, solid blocks of ice in their pots. It is cool to see all the old ones from Gregg are alive. And all the ramblers from Anne are alive. We really should have brought them in or planted them in the ground, but I was too nervous to put them in the ground until we had our plans finalized. All that work, all that time, Gregg and his team, the other nurseries that we've gotten plants from in their teams, our team, like everybody worked so hard to care for these plants, and then one big mistake, but like one decision that I made that was wrong, and we lost hundreds of plants. Whoa, look at this.
They definitely want to get out of their pots, huh?
They're ready to go on the ground, yes. So, yeah, we're trying to recover from it. Gregg's propagating those same roses again, and we're starting over, but like, man, it was a huge setback. I hope that we just like got a lot of the failure out of the way right at the start. Like, that's my hope. Like, maybe that was like just, all of it. Just check it off. We'll see. So right now on the Rose Project, we are kind of in a waiting period. We pruned the whole nursery, took out all the dead plants, dumped them. What's left though is what we can plant.
So then this was what's on the original Rose Master.
Yeah, I think keeping them by section would be, make them the easiest.
Each of these sticky notes you can see, like,
The field's going to be organized by class, so all the albals together, all the centifolias, all the gallicas, the bourbons. So it'll be by class, and then within a class, we're planning to organize them from like the dark kind of crimson ones, then into magenta, then into the softer candy pink, kind of darkest to lightest.
do you have rose crimson?
No, we have crimson. I think that's I think that's the order. We're planning the field based on the total number of varieties that Gregg says that we're going to adopt, but we only have maybe 30% of them so far. We're gonna organize it as if all of the roses are here. And then when we go to the field, we're gonna leave those holes empty, but we're gonna actually put the labels there so that when the roses arrive at the farm, you know exactly where they should go. The record keeping and labeling is hugely important. Every row is numbered, every row is labeled the class of the plant. Every plant has 2 labels, so it has a metal one at eye level and then one down at the ground, and then everything is mapped, both digitally and physically. And then we are utilizing landscape fabric to try to keep any weeds down. We have irrigation lines that we put in, but we suspended them above the ground so that rabbits can't nibble on them. We're just really trying to think about how are we going to care for these long term, and that the maintenance of this doesn't become so daunting that it doesn't get done.
Does it feel more like it's more full?
I know. We're definitely planning for the future.
We are very much planning for the future. Yeah. It should take about 2 or 3 more years for the other varieties to be propagated, get big enough to be able to be sent to us to go in the ground.
She has everything from row 20 to row 30.
I was so nervous to put the first plant in the ground. I'm so nervous, like, that we're gonna do it wrong. Many of the roses that are part of the old European collection are 200-300 years old, but some of them date back to the beginning of time. I mean, DuPontii, which is a variety we have all over the farm. I mean, Gregg says that that is one of the first roses that ever was. Imagine the lords and ladies walking around, you know, picking stems and sniffing them, and they're actually a piece of the same plant that we have growing here. They're still alive, still going. I think that's so cool. I imagine the farm like a container. I mean, it's kind of like a living ark for plants. It's a place to hold on to and preserve the past, and at the same time, we're also working on developing the new for the needs of today. And so it's this interesting balance between the two worlds. It's pretty cool. It's like a living laboratory, you know? That's a happy guy.
Happy Rose.
Happy Rose.
Really
It's one of the ones that runs.
Probably really happy to get put in the ground.
Yeah, they're ready. They're past ready. It's weird, it doesn't look like much, but it will be. In 10 years, I imagine that the rose field is going to be a jungle. We should have all of the varieties. They will be very well established. And my hope is that we'll be then propagating them and sharing divisions and cuttings with other people that want to collect the roses. And you know what's weird? I never thought I would want to do this, but I think down the road, I do think I'm going to want to open the farm just for a few weeks in June so that other people can come and experience this, because where, besides in Europe, would you ever be able to experience this many roses in one place, this many pieces of history? I mean, imagine if Anne hadn't have opened up her garden for us to come see. That was actually the spark of this whole project.
I've read these names so many times in catalogs and books. To be actually planting them is so cool.
And then in 50, hopefully these same plants will be established in many, many other places, and that they'll be permanently protected by some like giant trust or the government or some place that you know for sure that they're going to be safe for the future. Or they're in the hands of gardeners all over the world, and there's some kind of organization that keeps track of them. Yeah, what if they multiply and multiply and multiply? I mean, imagine what's possible in 50 years. There's only one load left after that.
I know.
We're done.